What is up, good people? Jungle Inc. here, hope you're doing well. If you're on Twitter, you probably saw me pushing back a little bit on this idea that the hook sidechain, it will only be for utility and not for speculation. And I have a problem with this for a couple reasons, even though I understand why they are presenting this project in this manner. They want you focusing on the utility, the usefulness of the network, the things you could possibly do with it, and not if the coin will go up or down in price. I get that, but I think it's wrong for a couple reasons. First of all, if we look at Bitcoin, the design, the purpose of Bitcoin was not so BlackRock could wrap it in an ETF and speculators could buy the coin, right? It doesn't matter what you want to happen with your digital asset. What you think it should be used for, people are going to speculate on that. It's just the way this game works, and actually investors and speculators play an important role. You can imagine if a blockchain really was only for use case and useful transactions. What happens if you want to buy the token to use on the chain and there's no one that needs to sell it for a utility purpose? You'd be stuck. You couldn't do your transaction. You couldn't acquire the asset for the purpose at hand. But guess what? There's always 365 days a year trading of digital assets on the open market, and you can dip into that liquidity that's provided by speculators and traders to acquire your asset and do your transaction. You know, investors are a useful part of any ecosystem. I think it's just wrong to pitch this network as somehow, high and mighty above other digital assets because, the people that are building it out aren't interested in speculation. That's the case with a lot of cryptocurrencies. Not all of them, of course. Many, the purpose is to try to drive value and make money. But in general, crypto assets should be a tool, something you use to accomplish a task better than you could otherwise, and speculation is still part of the overall ecosystem and makes everything function better. Now, will XRP Plus be a good token to speculate on? Well, I have no idea. We got to see the network launch and how it functions and what is its early day, applications that we have, and then we got to compare that to the market value, because there will be a market value. This coin will trade, whether it's on GitHub or BitChute or whatever they exchange. There will be a value, and we have to look at that and say, well, based on the probability of success and the utility of the network today, is this, overpriced or underpriced? And there's no way possibly to speculate on that now. The last thing I would say about this hook sidechain is a lot of people are tied up on this burn DeMent feature. And I'll tell you this, you don't have to burn DeMent. You don't have to burn your XRP. Once this coin is launched in trading, you can just acquire it like you would any other crypto asset. You don't have to mess with your XRP to either invest in this network or to actually use the network for its utility feature set. Honestly, the only time you would want to burn DeMent is if there's an arbitrage play there. If you could burn an XRP to get more value from XRP Plus, really is a trading type of maneuver. Other than that, you just acquire the token on the open market and either hold it, hoping it goes up in value, or use it for whatever you're trying to accomplish. Now, when we see this kind of friction taking place in the XRP community, or let's say the developer community, you really have, on the Ripple side of things, where we believe AMMs are going to be more important. And on many of the developer side, they want smart contracts, and it just comes down to what you're trying to do here. And I think for the XRP mainnet, if you're going to have something that's going to add complexity and, stress on the ecosystem, to me, for the XRP mainnet, AMMs make a lot of sense. You bring on some stable coins, you have some trading going on the decentralized exchange, and they're going to be able to, when I say they, Ripple and other people that are trying to do payment type of use cases, they can dip into that liquidity in order to source payments. And I think that's going to be, massive for building out that feature set. Now, the problem is, what if you're trying to build other types of systems? Well, you may need smart contracts more. I think to add both to the mainnet at this point in time would really be a drag on the system. And so what's great is we can, on the hook sidechain, we can build out that feature set and see what its effects are on the overall performance of the ledger and what works and what does not. And on the mainnet, something that really promotes the core, use case of XRP, at least today, what most people think of the digital asset is useful for making payments, well, we can have AMMs developed, and really both can develop at the same time, and we can keep what works and throw away what does not. With any new feature, there's something you're going to have to give up, whether it's performance or you need to upgrade the hardware, which makes it more expensive to maintain the network, which a lot of times decreases decentralization. There's always something. Otherwise, every chain would have, all of these features. You got to pick and choose what you want to offer and what builds the most value. And there's a divide here. Again, you have a lot of developers that look and say, you know what, it's all about smart contracts because that's what we want for building our decentralized applications. Then you have another side of it that says, you know what, we're about payments and AMMs and, building liquidity. That's going to be more important. Now, Bernstein just issued a report saying, you know what, the crypto ETF opportunity extends far beyond just Bitcoin. Yes, that's going to pave the way. That's going to be the first spot crypto ETF, but it's going to be much bigger than that. That's really why we're all in this together, as this asset class grows out of this hobbyist level into a true, investable asset class. We're going to see more than just Bitcoin. I can tell you right now, your major cryptocurrencies, they will have their own ETFs, and there'll be other products that basket cryptos. Maybe you'll have, payment crypto ETFs that have things like XRP and XLM, smart contract cryptocurrencies with Ethereum and Polkadot and Cardano and things of this nature. It's going to get wild, and you're going to see massive growth. And again, this is from an investor perspective, not so much the utility side of things, but it all kind of comes together. The more liquidity we have, the more this asset class grows, the more we will be able to do across the board. The last thing I would say is I'm seeing a lot of hostility out there, people that are frustrated, and I get it. We've been fighting this battle against the SEC. They were the boogeyman, and now that's over, and we have no one else to fight, so, we fight with each other. This is normal for this stage of the crypto cycle, where we are deep into a bear market, and we're looking for problems, and I can tell you it was no different last time around, when we were getting closer to the next, bull run, and XRP was quite close to the valuation of Ethereum, and still people were like, this is a failure, this is bad. Of course, we got, zung with this court case, but other cryptocurrencies that did not really had, beautiful growth. I think the stage is set in a good place, and no matter what your investment is, whether it's, XRP, Ethereum, or something else, people are going to start getting antsy. It's never going to happen. I see a lot of people upset about Cardano, which I think is silly. We've seen so much happen over the last couple of years that I think really sets the stage nicely for that project. It doesn't matter what I think. It's what you think. Understand we're in this time frame where we have to slog through this sideways training and downturns, and you have some metric that you think is showing the bull run is imminent, and it turns out to be wrong. We don't know when. We just know it's on the horizon here. We are getting close, and eventually we will start making assaults on new all-time highs. This market will wake up, and that's what we're all here for. We accumulate in down times, and then you just wait for this next growth phase. And there's all sorts of drivers that can cause that, but I don't think there's any magical moment in time where you're going to say, all right, Bitcoin ETF, Ripple victory. It's not going to work like that, but it will come together. And if you're invested in value, you will do well. Just enjoy the process. Every week we spend in this type of atmosphere, or if it goes down even lower, it's just a chance to prepare for that eventual run. This is the future. Understand that. And you can, take advantage of this opportunity we find ourselves in right now. Let me know what you think down below. And as always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Inc.